Hey guys, what's going on? It's Eli, back with another review and with Little Blue with me once again. And continuing on with reviewing Halloweenish films. And yes, we are reviewing this, and as you guys remember, we did see this. I did a vlog aftermath of this. We are, of course, reviewing the Addams Family 2. And you had to do that.
Had to do that.
Yeah. Of course, you got to do the, da-da-da-da. There you go.
Yep.
So
I know the whole song.
So the Addams Family 2, and 2 years ago, because we had the first ever animated film of the Addams Family.
Correct.
Yeah, and what did we think of that? I did review it last year's Halloween-ish reviews, but it was just me, not Little Blue. But what did you think of the first one?
It was good. I don't remember a whole lot of it, but it was a good first outing doing an animated version of the Addams Family.
Yeah. Because it was perfect. It was perfect for the Addams Family to do something in animation, even for a movie.
I agree.
Well, I mean, they had that cartoon series.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that? I think
Yes.
it was in the late 80s or 90s, I think.
Exactly.
So that. And you look at the Addams Family, how they look in the movies and the animated films, they're very close to how they looked in the comic strip by Charles Addams.
Yes.
Yeah. So it wasn't until 2 years later that we got a sequel.
Right.
To the Addams Family 2, and what did we think of this?
It was very good. I enjoyed it. It's animation, so it's going to get a little silly. The CGI. I was amazed at the quality of the CGI. There's a scene where they're at Niagara Falls and they're in the water, and
yeah, because they're going on a road trip or something. And
I was blown away by the water effects from the CGI. It looked real. Absolutely real. And I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, did they shoot this? Did they use actual water shots?
No,
but it wasn't.
CG.
It was total CGI.
Even Pixar, man, they nail it to it with water.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I had seen where I had heard where when Finding Nemo was first created, when they did the first shots, they were told the animators, hey, back off a little bit because you're making this look too real.
Yeah.
We don't want it to look too real.
We want you to think it's real, but in a make-believe world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's what you get with this.
Yeah. And so with the Addams Family 2, apparently because the possibility that Wednesday might not be an Addams,
Exactly.
But of course, that's not all true. Even I was kind of thinking, no, this can't be. And then how are they going to pull this off? How are they going to explain this?
Yeah, it was.
Throughout the film, I was thinking,
Yeah, and of course, the guy was, he was a total.
The bald guy, or
total bad guy,
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out who voiced him. I might have been Bill Hader. I want to say.
Yeah,
I think it was him.
I think so.
Yeah,
it was
Wallace Shawn's in this too, and yeah, go ahead.
But anyway, it was, he he was the villain, the hidden villain, the whole time. He was the bad guy. Then you had the attorney chasing him.
It was again voiced by Wallace Shawn.
Yeah,
hired by I think Cyrus Strange.
Exactly. So we thought that Wednesday may not be Wednesday Addams, but Wednesday Strange. As it turns out, she is an Addams.
Yes.
And
there's No, what?
I was just going to make the comment that the original Addams Family is still my favorite, and
from the 60s.
Yeah, exactly. The old black and white, still my favorite. You can't beat that.
I'd say that's the perfect adaptation of Addams Family.
Because it's the original.
Yeah,
and you can't. It can't be. I mean, you can mimic it, but you can't duplicate it.
You can't top on. Even though another adaptation of the Addams Family would be good, I guess. It could never top off the original Addams Family.
No, never. That the chemistry between those characters
it's like every Twilight Zone reboot or just something. Every adaptation of a Twilight Zone could never top off the original Twilight Zone.
That's exactly right.
So stuff like that.
Right.
And so other stuff that was going on in the Addams Family, because Wednesday does leave, and Lurch comes along.
Sure.
That was kind of nice. And Lurch, I don't think he was never an Addams, was he?
No, he's not an Addams, but he's part of the family.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
And there's a funny moment where they come across bikers, you know, that sequence.
Yeah,
And right before that, that stand, like, you know, the directions which way to go, and one of them said the Overlook Hotel.
Yeah.
That was funny.
That was very funny. Yeah.
Yeah, and you could talk about this, like, when it comes to up to the bikers, and you think that we think that Lurch is about to, like, kick their butts or something.
Yeah.
Go ahead, you could explain this.
It
Because this got to you, I'm letting you explain this.
Lurch and Wednesday walk in this biker bar, and there's all these bikers, and basically she tells Lurch, she says, show them what you can do with your hands, and you think he's just gonna just waylay all these bad guys, all these biker guys.
Exactly, just what I demonstrated.
He goes
to the piano.
There's a piano in this biker bar.
Why wouldn't there be?
Goes up to the piano.
He starts playing.
It starts playing. It does this.
It was
great intro to this song, and breaks into the old Gloria Gaynor "I Will Survive," and it was absolutely hilarious. And you see all of these bikers that are dancing around. It would look like a scene from the like the Village People or something.
It was starting to come to me that he was going to sing "I Will Survive."
Yeah,
As
exactly right.
When he sang those first notes, you cracked up.
Because he's, here he is, you rang, and he's this, and then he sits down. At first I was afraid, I was petrified, and he starts singing in this high-pitched voice. It was hilarious.
Yes, that was hilarious.
Absolutely loved it. That was the pivotal scene in the whole movie.
And throughout the film, like Uncle Fester slowly turning into an octopus.
Yeah. He loses a hand, and it's a tentacle, and then finally his other hand becomes a tentacle.
Yeah,
gets a little weird, but Uncle Fester's weird anyway. So
yeah. Well, it had to do with like in the opening of the film, like I guess a project that Wednesday had. Class.
I really didn't need to see him in his underwear. That was just even CGI.
Uncle Fester.
Yeah, that was too gross.
I can't remember that.
Yeah, it was at the beginning,
and even like remember because Thing he was at the wheel.
Yeah, exactly. That was and Thing has he's wearing a sort of a
some kind of device or whatever it was.
It's like an Apple Watch for
it to be an eye.
Yeah, and it's an eye. So now he has an eye on top of his hands like this, and this is down like this, and there's one big eye here, and it's really fun.
Yeah, and some scenes with Cousin Ed.
Yeah, Cousin Ed, and oh my gosh, Snoop Dogg does Cousin Ed.
Oh, yeah.
And it's Snoop Dogg talking normal, and they've got it running backwards, so it's like,
yes,
and it's hilarious.
Oh yeah, and even the grandma, is that what she's called?
Grandmama.
Grandmama, yeah, like she stays behind in the Addams Family house and throws a big party,
Mm-hmm.
Bette Midler voicing Grandmama, just perfect,
I always did a good imitation of Cousin Ed. You want to hear it?
Go ahead. I mean, you just did, but if you want to do it again,
well, I was imitating
how Snoop, because of Snoop Dogg,
how it sounded in its.
Okay, but go ahead and do your impression. Right,
Cousin Ed.
It's like just like that.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and then they come to the Alamo. There's one part where they go to the Alamo. You remember that? Yeah.
Oh yeah. And I've been to the Alamo.
And it's like it's
It's
not really the Alamo. It's like this restaurant or something, and they have like a stage, and the Addams disguise themselves as cowboys, and you see Wednesday like in that makeup and so on stage is hilarious.
Oh yeah, she's not happy at all.
No,
not happy
that's
at all.
funny.
But they're trying to disguise them to blend in so this attorney doesn't find
exactly. But what were you about to say?
You almost said. I thought you were going to say, "Remember the Alamo," but you didn't. That's a famous line from. It's an old line from years and years. It's an old phrase from the Alamo, the Battle of the Alamo.
Well, I'm talking about
Mexico.
I might have been saying because the Alamo was in the film,
Yeah, exactly.
This restaurant and such.
Yeah,
it's not actually the Alamo.
No, it was not the Alamo.
No, as I just said. So
right.
And and with Wall, Sean's character, like this other big guy,
Mm-hmm.
and they and like Lurch and that thing like stare at each other.
Yeah, and they turn out to be allies. We think they're going to be against each other, but they
You,
turned out
you think we're gonna, and we think we're gonna see them like going at each other, like fight.
exactly.
But no, just yeah, and a bit kind of emotional because when like, because Wednesday like really thinks like because Cyrus Strange is her actual father,
Mm-hmm.
But it turns out because Cyrus Strange was lying and he was just using Wednesday.
Right.
Yeah, like to turn like very like cryptid like animals or something, like combination of animals.
Right.
Yeah, so that and like even like Cyrus becomes like this like big like almost like chicken kind of thing, with wings and the head of a chicken. And then like Fester comes in now fully in a big octopus and defeats him,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and the epilogue and such, like they come back and they see that what Grandmama did throwing a party as like welcome back kind of thing,
Right, exactly.
Yeah, and cousin It singing, he gets the microphone up to this fur, like gets in his mouth, and we hear him sing. It's Snoop Dogg singing.
Of course, it's Snoop Dogg. Yes.
Yeah, and then there's like during the end credits, they go on a worldwide vacation.
Right.
Yeah, but
which may be a teaser to the next Addams Family movie. Who knows?
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, you never know. There could be a second sequel.
True.
But what do we have to say about the Addams Family 2?
It was a lot of fun to watch.
Last words.
It was a lot of fun to watch. I enjoyed it.
It was a decent sequel.
Out of 5 stars, I'll give it 4. I'll give it 4 stars.
I'll give it 7. 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 stars.
Of course, I'm a big Addams Family fan anyway. So when they can come up with a movie that's funny and you have different characters now, but
you do, yeah.
But they're all and I forgot who played Morticia.
That was Charlize Theron.
Yeah, Charlize Theron.
Gomez was Oscar Isaacs.
Right, and Charlize Theron
she
did a great job in her delivery. As you would have sworn, it was Morticia Addams. I mean, she was that good.
Yeah, like the voice, for example.
Exactly.
Yeah, if it was ever like if they did those characters in live action, they would nail looking just good looks for them.
Yeah, they would.
Pulling off the good likenesses. Like I could definitely picture Charlize Theron and Oscar Isaacs as Morticia and Gomez.
Yeah.
Oscar Isaacs, he's got the hair almost.
Yeah, he does. It would be he could pull it off.
Pull off the mustache.
Yeah, he could definitely pull it off. He's but hard to imagine that
Chloe Gray says Wednesday. Yeah, she could pull off the look too of Wednesday if it was live action.
Right, and it's hard to believe that the guy who played Poe Dameron pulled off.
Doing the voice of Gomez.
Exactly.
Yeah,
he did a good job.
Uncle Fester, voiced by Nick Kroll, and
yeah, he was good.
Lurch. I know him like he was from DreamWorks, but and I think Bette Midler would pull off a good Grandmama live action as well.
True.
So anyways, so you give it 4 out of 5 stars.
4 out of 5 stars.
I give it 7 out of 10 stars.
It was a fun movie to watch.
It was, and you guys let us know what you thought of the Addams Family 2. Leave comments and what you thought of our review. Give it a like, and more reviews coming your way. Keep looking forward. They're gonna be awesome. Any last words?
Off out.
Off out. And for me, again, we hope you enjoyed our review of the Addams Family 2, and we'll see you guys in the next video/review. And of course, continuing on with the Halloween, reviewing Halloweenish films, and later this week, after the first one for Thursday, the one for Thursday night, me and Lil Blue, we have something special we had saved for reviewing, something Halloweenish. You'll see. Take care and peace out.